What's going on, guys? Welcome to my Evil Dead 2 review. As I said in the Evil Dead 1 review, which is on this channel, you can go check that out if you want. Evil Dead 2 is a film that I'd never seen before, so this is a first time watch for me, and that's why it's going to be so much fun, because this has been on my list for so long, and as a horror fan, I'm really surprised that I hadn't gotten to it yet. And for reasons that I'll be getting into in the review, I really regret not seeing this way earlier, especially when I was younger, because this would be such a treat to have nostalgia for and grow up on. Unfortunately, shit happens, and sometimes you discover films late, but lo and behold, this is my first time watching this film, and I'm here to talk about my thoughts. So, like I said, if you want to see the Evil Dead review first, I did it like 2 weeks ago or something like that, maybe less. And here we go with the Evil Dead 2. So a lot of people call this a remake too, which I can see. It doesn't necessarily feel like a full-blown sequel, but it's it's kind of a, I would say it's a reimagining. Remake is a little bit of a stretch. A lot of people say remake because there's a lot of elements that go on with Ash's character that he is first discovering the Necronomicon, doesn't really know what these demons are necessarily, although sometimes it seems like he does, but it definitely plays out like this. He's having this experience for the first time. So I would say reimagining, almost like a different universe or dimension, like different storyline that Sam Raimi took with the second film compared to the first one. But he's driving to the cabin the same way he was in the first one, except it's just him and this girl named Linda, instead of the group of friends that he had in the first one. And this cabin, he knows that the people, like, it doesn't belong to him. It belongs to, I guess, somebody who knew, or somebody he knew that at least wasn't going to be there for the weekend or whatever. And he gets there with Linda, and Linda has a dancer's body and a half. You can tell she's a dancer because you know, you can tell that's what she does professionally. And excuse me, her body like is completely dancer shaped, like really petite in the waist, total hourglass figure, and she dances really well, obviously, and obviously is really good looking as well. I find it funny how in this one, instead of Ash reading the Necronomicon to unleash the demons, he just plays this tape recorder, which has the voice of the cabin owner, sorry, reading off what's in the Necronomicon. So literally, he summoned the demons just by pressing play, which really sucks because it's less fortunate, and more like accidental and shitty. That's just by like being curious and pressing this button. Now he doesn't even have to speak the words; somebody else does for him, and then all hell breaks loose. But I like how Sam Raimi again goes with the camera angle, the camera like chase kind of thing, where the camera chases Ash and Linda as well, and it feels like a demon or something, some presence is chasing every character, as if they can see it physically, but we can't. I really like that about the Evil Dead, and with this one, they do a lot more of that, and they do it obviously more professionally because Sam Raimi has a little bit of practice under his belt. But yeah, he plays the tape recorder, and then all hell breaks loose. When Linda gets possessed, I find it weird that Ash beheads her with a shovel and then just buries her like it's nothing. Like, oh shit, guess I have to do what I have to do. Like, no, like it's so quick, and he just does it like nonchalantly, like just chops off her head, and he's already burying her like in the next scene as if he doesn't give a shit. So that's where I'm like, it might kind of be a sequel because he might again be used to this, but it's really hard to say whether this is a remake, a reimagining, or a complete sequel because I don't know. I think like I said, I think Sam Raimi made this film just as a whole different like different way to tell the same story kind of thing. I don't really know what I would compare it to. In like I can't think off the top of my head something else that kind of did the same thing. This one's pretty unique with it, but yeah, like I said, I think it's just a different way that Sam Raimi wanted to tell the same story. So then the forest ends up possessing Ash and spinning him in the air, like flipping him upside down and shit like that, and just like whipping him through the forest as if he's just flying through it, and then he lands in this puddle of water and he's possessed for a good minute, and I'm like, is he already getting possessed? Where are they going here? I was surprised that they had a demon possess him so quick, but they do, and then he goes back to normal all of a sudden. He notices when he tries to escape in the car that the bridge to the cabin is completely destroyed, and I like how the bridge takes the kind of the shape of a claw. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but it looked like the bridge was kind of taking the shape of a claw, like it was like holding him in, like kind of like a symbolism kind of thing going on. So whether they did that on purpose or not, that's something that I kind of took notice of and liked. I like how they utilize the weather, how they utilize the. You can tell it's green screen, but they really utilize it in a creepy sense. Really adds to the atmosphere of that forest and the camera chasing the characters through it and all that. And then we're introduced to this side group of characters, which obviously plays into the story. And I'm mixed on them, mostly good. So I would say like 80% of that side story I liked, and then 20% was kind of like meh. I just found that when they were introduced, especially Annie and Ed, when she's getting off the plane, I started to wonder like, is this plot really necessary? Because I think Ash and Linda could have totally held this movie just on their own, even introducing like one or two characters. But to have Annie and Ed come in and they want to translate the Necronomicon and stuff like that, it kind of seemed a little bit forced and just something that Sam Raimi threw in with some extra characters just to flesh out the story a little bit. That kind of seemed unnecessary. But as the film starts to go on and you realize that it's Annie's father in this cabin who she's looking to have the pages of the Necronomicon that she found translated, it starts to make a little bit more sense. And the best thing about this film, which I already knew going in that it was going to be this kind of film, is how wacky and goofy it gets along with the horror. And this is absolute genius horror comedy. This is the perfect horror comedy and the perfect way to do horror comedy. Personally, I gave this film on Letterboxd a 4.5 out of 5. I was really close to giving it a 5 out of 5, however. But being it's a first time watch, and I probably want to get like a lot more out of the film. It's the type of film really that what do you say, like merits, it really merits, a full documentary on it, in the like behind the scenes and everything that went into it and the ideas. Like this is something that I would want to really dive into the special features and watch over and over again to really grasp everything that it's about, kind of thing. I love I love Linda when she comes out of the ground and starts dancing headless. Genius. It kind of reminded me of the Nightmare Before Christmas, or A Nightmare Before Christmas, with the stop motion. I'm pretty sure a lot of the effects in this film are stop motion. If they're not, then they're CGI. But like the way everything moves, a lot of the effects, I'm just gonna guess. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna guess it's stop motion. The hand, I'm pretty sure is stop motion. Dancing Linda, I'm almost sure, like guaranteed, is stop motion. But it's hilarious when she starts dancing and carrying around her head and tossing it to Ash, and she's like, "Hello, lover." And that line, um, I'm a former DJ. I DJ'd for a long time, and I did electronic music, and I spun a lot of like minimal tech and minimal house. I swear I heard that line in a song before. Some track that I dropped, that I used to drop, I swear there was this Halloween track or something like that that had that sample in it. Hello, lover. That's where I recognized it right away as soon as she said it. I'm like, I know that. That was in a track. That was in a track that I used to drop a lot. I just forget which one it is. It might have been Daniel Portman. but don't quote me on that one. But that was funny. And then taking like the hand biting Ash's hand, the head, sorry, biting Ash's hand, and then him taking it to that jack thing that squeezes squeezes the head, and the body coming in with the chainsaw. It's just genius. And then the chainsaw flipping back to the body, and like, oh my god, I could just go on and on. Like, it starts and it just doesn't let up. Like, as soon as shit starts getting real and getting funny, it just doesn't let up. It just keeps on going. The mirror scene where Ash comes out of the mirror and starts like arguing with himself and grabbing himself. The severed hand, obviously, when Ash severs his own hand, it starts coming alive and started grabbing his face, and the blood splatter on the hand too when he when he cuts it off and the blood is just splattering all over himself. There was a scene of there's a few blood splatters like waves of blood that obviously inspired the remake of Evil Dead. There's another thing that inspired the remake of Evil Dead, which I'll get to a little bit later. I don't want to jump too ahead of myself, but the first scene, it's really close to the mirror scene. Yeah, so that's it. When the hand gets the mouse trap on it and then gives the finger, and Ash is laughing, and then he starts trying to shoot the hand. And when he shoots the wall and he thinks he got the hand, he thought he shot the hand, and then just the wave of blood. I mean, making a film famous for waves of blood is genius. And then it happens again with the cellar door later on. Just so good. So much buckets of blood that went into went into that. It's insane. I love the deer head. The deer head made me laugh when it turned and then started laughing at Ash, and everything else in the cabin starts coming alive, like the lamp and everything like that. And Ash doing his whole like up and down dance, and then starting to laugh his ass off again. I just fucking love it. I love when Annie and Ed show up with the hillbilly couple, Jake and Bobby Joe, and they think Ash murdered Annie's family. Well, that's her first thought anyway, which is legit because you got a chainsaw and then you got this bloody stranger in your house and there's blood everywhere. Your first thought is probably going to be that this guy's a whack job murderer, and you're going to throw him into the cellar. So I found that interesting, and I found that a good way to introduce this new group of people, because like I said, they came in a little bit weak, but as they started to introduce themselves more and kind of they started to get more structured as characters, then it started to get a little better. Straight up, I couldn't stand Jake. I wish he went instead of Bobby Joe. I think he lived way too long in this film, personally. I think they did a really good job with the wife in the cellar. The wife that the now deceased husband buried in the cellar when she became a demon. They did a really good job with her, like her practical effects and the way she looked. I like the hush little baby scene because, like I said, never seeing this film before. I have seen The Evil Dead. I've seen Army of Darkness. I'll probably be reviewing those two, and I've seen the Evil Dead remake. And I remember that hush little baby scene in the Evil Dead remake, so obviously it came straight from this. I have to say it was heartbreaking in the Evil Dead, but the remake, but it's pretty heartbreaking in here too. They do like because they have the mother or the wife looking normal when she's singing it, and she's peeking out of the floor door thing. Really, really, really touching and heartbreaking. They did the same job in this one that they did in the remake when it comes to pulling the heartstrings and stuff like that. But yeah, just Jake. His personality pissed me off. His whole like hillbilly redneckness just drove me crazy. And then holding everybody hostage to go find the chick in the forest. It's like, why don't you just go on your fucking own? You have a gun. Like, no, everybody has to come with me to go look for this chick because, a team is better. I couldn't, like, the guy was so illogical I mean, what do you expect? But it's just, and then Bobby Joe having to die first, and like instead of a tree rape this time, she's just dragged through the forest like violently. So they changed that up a little bit, but she still gets wrapped up in all the fucking roots and all that. So it's still pretty horrific. Not as horrific as a tree rape, obviously, but yeah. There's also some good foreshadowing to Army of Darkness. Now, that's another thing I'd want to learn in the special features, or somebody can mention in the comments if Sam Raimi already had plans for Army of Darkness when he made Evil Dead 2, because when they're looking through the Necronomicon, looking back on the 1300s and the history and the medieval times that the Army of Darkness goes into, you can see Ash with the chainsaw and like I said, a lot of foreshadowing to Army of Darkness. So I do wonder if he had both scripts done, or at least the idea fully made, like a rough cut of Army of Darkness already when he finished making this film. It'd be interesting to know, or if he just made this film and then kind of like put that in here, but then is like, that would be a good idea to keep on expanding the story, and then came up with the idea after this film was made. But it'd be interesting to figure that out. Convenience. Jake has the papers, the Necronomicon papers, and thinks they're bullshit. And he dumps them into the cellar. He's like, I don't give a shit what's on those papers. We're going out to find Bobby Joe. But there's a fireplace on. The first thing that he would do, guaranteed, was throw those papers into the fire. There's no way in hell that he would just go throw them into the basement. No way in hell. Not with the fire on. The fire's roaring. He would say this is bullshit and he would toss it right into the fire. But he has them. He walks past the fire and he throws them into the basement. Obviously plot convenience, because those papers are used later on in the film, and that's what makes your climax, and they have to read it to bring up the vortex and stop the evil and stuff like that. But in reality, that's very conveniently written. Very conveniently written. As soon as it happens, I thought he was going to throw him in the fire, and then he walks past the fire, and I'm like, he would not do that. Especially as especially as much of an idiot as he is. I don't know if I can say the R word anymore on YouTube. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm a baby channel, but whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean. One thing I also love is the sound design with the camera movements. There is especially one sequence in particular where the camera is moving to different parts of the cabin, and the sound design is just perfect with whatever the camera is focusing on. Even when it's going, like panning from like a a board a boarded up door or a boarded up window, and it's going like up and down the window, you hear like creaks and like nails and just little squeaks and little creaks that you would make like with footsteps and stuff like that. Perfect, superb sound design in this film. Really, really well done. And if you really pay attention and like appreciate that kind of stuff, I'm not a sound designer, but it's definitely so noticeable in this film that you can't not notice it because it's just so well done. So I definitely wanted to pay a mention, or make a mention about the sound design, because man, it was really good, really, really good. Uh, I love how the severed hand just keeps on coming back for different circumstances. Jake is like, "Baby, I ain't holding your hand," and and it's the hand holding Bobby Joe's hands. um, before she runs into the forest. This is like just before she runs into the forest, and the severed hand is holding her hand, and she thinks it's Jake. So that was clever. And Jake basically fucks everything up. As usual, we get Ash possessed again, and Ash starts creating some havoc, and then we get Linda being like the for the third act. We have a lot, like basically all of the focus on Linda, because Ash is now trying to attack Linda, and he's the main or antagonist, sorry, and Linda starts to become the main protagonist. And she finds this dagger, and this dagger is awesome looking. It has like a skull at the end of it. It's a really long dagger too. Like this would be a dagger that I would want to buy as a collector's item because it looks so beautiful in the movie. And I'm like, man, I can only imagine how much money people would be paying for this as a collector's item, online or eBay or conventions or stuff like that. Like that would be something that I would want to get my hands on. This dagger looks so sick. But she uses that. She stabs Jake accidentally because she thinks she's about to stab what's his face, Ash, and she's like creeping around the cabin, and she hears somebody about to come through the door with the knob, and then Jake comes through and she stabs him right in the chest, and lo and behold, he doesn't die. And then she tries to help him, and he's like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And I'm like, this fucker's still alive. Bobby Joe's dead. I wish they switched places. This is the most annoying motherfucker that could possibly be in a film, and he's still going. He's still going. And then a demon comes out of the floor door and grabs Jake and drags him down, and then you get that other like massive wave and splatter of blood all over the like right to the ceiling. It's beautiful. I'm like, there we go. Jake got it. Jake finally got it. And Ash with superhuman strength, or we should say super demon strength, being able to just pick up Linda and throw her any way he wants. There's a scene where this is one that I didn't get. Maybe I missed something, so again, people can correct me in the comments if they like, but when Ash is a demon and he finds this necklace on the ground, it's like a white circle. And first of all, I also noticed a little bit of symbolism again. Whether it's done on purpose, I'm not sure. But the chain of the necklace is actually shaped as a skull. If you look at it, it's got two eyes, and then it kind of comes down with like the little mouth at the bottom. I noticed that the chain symbolized a skull to me anyway. So I found that neat again. If that was a little like symbolism moment, that was good. But he grabs the necklace and then he cries in agony. He's like, ah! And I'm not sure why, because I don't know what that necklace was. Like I said, I might have missed something. Did that belong to Linda? Was he realizing that he is human? Like, was his human self, his Ash self, coming, like, surfacing from the demon? Was he realizing that, like, was he remembering as Ash his loved ones or something like that? I just didn't get what was it about the necklace that made him react that way. So I wasn't sure about that. And then he becomes back to normal, and he keeps like trying to convince Linda that he's normal, even though Linda is still attacking him. And I don't blame her because we already saw with the wife who was in the cellar, she turned back to normal, but that was the demon influencing everybody and manipulating everybody. So these demons, obviously, when they possess people, they still have the capability of manipulating those around them by having the host become normal, but then switch back to a demon. So we never know if whatever demon was possessing Ash could do the same thing and made Ash come back to normal. So Linda's reaction in wondering or being cautious about is Ash actually back to normal or not? Is he gonna go apeshit bananas or not? Is actually a legitimate reaction from her. So, but he's like screaming in her face, "I'm all right. Can you not tell I'm all right?" I don't know, buddy. The bitch in the basement was all right for like 2 seconds, and then she went back to crazy. So how the fuck am I supposed to know? We get our iconic scene where when Ash is alright, he gets his chainsaw, and I like how he utilized it by putting it on his severed arm, like with the severed hand, and he puts the chain on this thing on his chest, so he's able to just rev it, like by pulling his like his arm forward, so the chain like it's hooked on his calf or whatever, and he just puts his arm down and it can turn the chainsaw anytime, and then he cuts the front barrel, or whatever you call the, not the bit, I think it's the barrel of the shotgun. I'm not like the biggest gun person in the world, but he cuts the front of the shotgun so it makes it shorter, and then he can put it on his back either. And then you, of course, groovy, groovy, the best line of the most memorable line of the film, anyway. And we get this floating witch, like the wife from the basement is just like floating and spinning in the air, as goofy as these demons like to be. I like the demon with the elongated head, with the head just stretches and the whole neck and spine just stretches with it. And when it dies, I think they might have used actual firecrackers, because the firecrackers sparkle like a firecracker would, or like sparklers would, and you can hear the firecracker sound. So it sounds like they actually used firecrackers in that effect. And then you got the forest starting to completely eat the cabin, and the practical effects are absolutely amazing and stunning in that scene. What a beautiful horror climax at its finest. Like, just perfect practical effects for a horror movie climax. Just amazing, amazing. And then we have the hand coming back once again, stabbing Linda right in the back. But this is after she read the pages of the Necronomicon and started this vortex that eventually leads Ash into the past, and setting up the events for Army of Darkness. And like I said, did Sam Raimi write it already after Evil Dead 2, or did he come up with the idea of Army of Darkness way afterwards? Not really sure, but it would be cool to find out. Man, I love this film. I'm so disappointed that I didn't see this earlier. So disappointed. Evil Dead 2 rocks, man. Like, Evil Dead 2 is so good. I'm so glad I got this package. Like I said, I was going to buy 1 and 2 on 4K, but then a month before I bought it, I found this, and it said it was going to come out like a month after. So I was like, well, I'm not going to buy the first 2 films on 4K. I'll just buy this, because it comes with the 1 and 2, and it comes with the entire show. So if you want the entire series, seasons 1 to 3, and Evil Dead's 1 and 2, doesn't come with the remake and doesn't come with Army of Darkness, but it's still a kick-ass package. It's pretty badass. But yeah, Evil Dead 2, friggin' awesome. So good. And it's great for Halloween. It's great to just watch over and over. Like, it's one of my favorites, man. It's an instant classic for sure, and there's a reason why it's a cult classic as well. So that's my take on it. That's my first viewing. I just broke my Evil Dead 2 virginity, and had a great time doing it. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned if you are interested, and until next review, take care, have a good one, and cheers.